Hey guys, welcome to Comfy Cozy Up, and this is the last day of December daily, so I'm excited because it's the last day. I get to rest a little, but then I'm also like womp womp, the year is over. I want to say thanks for watching the videos. If you got to day 31, you watch all the videos, thank you, I really appreciate it. So today's video is the best because it's going to be the best books that I've read this year, and this year books were totally not the typical books I would read because majority of these books had some form of action-packed suspense, mystery, even a romance got in here, and the romance had action, some thriller aspects to it. There is civil unrest. There is some form of genre that I typically don't go for, and there is one special book also in the mix. Now I'm gonna start with the one book I don't own, which is a romance, my favorite, and it needed to be in the top 10 because I absolutely love this book, and that is Hostile Takeover by Christina C. Jones. And this book had me in like uproar where I had to read the book twice because it was just like, did Christina C. Jones really get my attention like this? She did. And this book had action, it is romance, but it also had the rich dangerous man aspect of it that made me like turn in those pages, and I can't wait to get the physical book in my hand. I was so into this book, and it really got me to reading other books. I ended up reading quite a few romance because this year was such a heavy year for me. As many of you guys know, if you did watch last year top 10 where I shared that my father had passed away. So this is a lot of healing that was going on this year, a lot of grief, a lot of crying, and so I needed books that was going to like get me out of that funk, and this book really did that for me. Now let's get into the physical books, and the next book is a subscriber pick. I would have never think to pick this up, and this is In Memoriams, and this is Alice Wynn. This is a World War book, World War II, I believe, World War I, and it follows two young men, and they were underage, and you find how they found a way to get into the military, but they're dealing with what happened in war, the conflicts, the fight, the surviving, to seeing the brutality of what war is, and also dealing with the matters of the heart in this. What I loved about this story is how gruesome it was, in talking about things that you don't normally get and hear about. You know war is bad, you know war is devastating, but the way it's written in this, and keep in mind, this was a debut book, and I felt that she kept it so authentic. And for me, I wasn't sure I can deal with a book like that really dig into the war, because I don't read a lot of books with combat, you know, I just don't. But it's the characters in this are so believable in how she writes them, in expressing what they were dealing with, and the aftermath of what it means to have been psychological issues from experiencing some of the things. And not only that, they were young, they were underage, they were still being, you know, they weren't adult yet, and to go through that and what it did to them later. I love the ending. I love that in this they still seek to have some form of life fulfillment, some kind of joy, even though their lifestyle wasn't going to be accepted. And I think this is why I was so like moved by this book in a way, because you don't see this a lot, especially for that time. It is a historical fiction, but for me personally, I think this is one of those books that memorable, and it left a mark where I thought about so much, and grief. And because I was going through it, I think that's one reason why I looked at this in a different way, and realized that you still have a bit of control over certain things, even though things around you might seem chaotic, or even when you survive certain things, there's still some control that you have within you, that you can fight through all that's going on. And I really appreciated this one. And the person who subscribed this told me to read it. Yeah, thank you. Next book, I was a little bit disappointed that it didn't make the top 6 for the Booker final, but my friends, and this is another one where you get where civil unrest happens, and you think of people who are become refugee and cannot go back home. And then there's a point where the possibility to go back home is there, but there's so many years of disconnect and mental disconnect that you get from this story. And then you see all the other people and different people who respond differently to becoming refugee, and what and how they live their life and how they look at certain things in this book. What I tell you about this book, the writing, it's just beautiful. I mean, I still kept the tab because there were so many quotable moments in this. Like, he was throwing some gems all over these pages. All over these pages. I just love the writing. I feel like certain pages I would just go back and read that section just because of how really good the writing was and how amazing he was telling this story. Love, love, love this one. The next book was a late one. It was a December read, and that was My Cousin Rachel. Love this classic. Love the suspense. Daphne Moore is good at writing mystery, and I am for this. I read this. I did a video of the movie. I also watched with this, which, you know, a little bias on that movie. But I was so thrilled about reading another classic that I can scream about and have that really excitement moment. I think this is one of those classics that you can read with other people. I did a whole review. So most of these, actually all these books I did a full review on, so I won't do a full review in this video. But just know that this is a classic that if you like mystery, if you like reasonable doubt kind of storyline, you're gonna get into this, because this is a moment of, did this person did it or didn't they do it? You know, did they really do it or they didn't do it? That kind of deal. And so there's a lot of discussion you can have on this book, and I love the character. I love the different stages of this character, the main character in this, because he was annoying the heck out of me. But I was so for it when this like little twists and turns were happening towards the end. You need a mystery? Pick this up. The next book is another author that is just becoming an author by, and that is S.A. Cosby, and this is All the Sinners Bleed. Love this. Just imagine someone going up into a school and killing a person in the middle of the day, and don't flee. It is what it is. And then you get a black sheriff. The whole, now I gotta deal with this madness and what happened, why. So there's the mystery of why did this person do it, and there's all these other things that's happening in the story. This is another mystery thriller aspect. Again, the theme this year for me, mystery thriller. It is what it is. Action packed, and this did it for me. I love this. This is a page turner. I was here for it. I was excited for this one. The next book is a winner of the National Book Award. It should have won a Booker, but it's okay. And it is James Adventure Journey. This is a retelling of Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, which I did read so I could get into this. And I think because I read that, I enjoyed this even more, and I was able to get into the story even more. He is an amazing writer. Percival Everett, amazing writer, and I am looking forward to reading more of his books. I did kill it. The last haul I did pick up one of his new books. Well, one of his backlisted books, sorry. But I plan on reading way more of his book because his writing is amazing and he's worth it. And this should have won, my opinion, and I stand. I'm saying up for that. It should have won. All right, the next book is, it's a dear book for me, and this is a dear book for me. I started the year reading this book. I ended this year reading the book. I've read this book several times. I've read several chapters several times. And what I'm going to say is going to try to talk about this book without getting too emotional, and that is All About Love by Bell Hooks. And I've read this book quite a few times this year, I read chapters that I can relate to. What I've learned in my grieving process, because this is a different kind of grieving, losing a parent, and losing a parent where you had a complicated relationship with, and it's just finding ways to think about different things and think about love, how I love. And I've been in therapy before where one of the things I learned was a lot of my issues is associated with my father, and there's some stuff in here that made me cry, that made me frustrated. But one of the biggest thing I learned, you can't heal in isolation. And as an introvert, I had to learn to get out of the house, and got it from there. So we're gonna end this because the next book is Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, James McBride. McBride. I am a huge fan of this author's writing. I like when a writing style comes off very aggressive at first, but wheel back. This is how this author gives me. It is also the most watched video for this year, was the review I did for this. I think a lot of people is interested in this book, but because of the beginning where he is throwing the entire book at you and then he dissects what's happening. This book is really a melting pot of cultural things happening. You have the Jewish people here, you have black people, you have white, and it's historical fiction because it's taken way back when. So there's racial tension, and then you have a poor kid that got mixed up in something that he didn't do, and so you're following the journey from when the Jewish man got in here in the town and things that was happening and growing. It's like he's giving you the story of the people, of different people and different things that they were doing and surviving and being just regular people, but just so happen to be in the same community. And then when this happened, there's that bit of a chaos that's happening, and you just feel for the little boy in this and what he's having to endure, and you following his journey where he ended up. There was so much in this book, but it was a page turner. The writing was just so good. I love this storytelling. I love this kind of storytelling that's going to make you think outside the box and think of certain things and follow the characters and link certain things in this. I was just for it. I was for it. And I think I'm just one of those that I'm so huge fan. I cannot wait to read his next book. Because at this point, after Deacon King Kong and then this, I'm a fan of his writing. I think his writing is not for everybody, but it's for me. I'm here for it. The next book is a classic, Harlem Renaissance classic, and this is another one where some action pack going on here too. All these books. Somebody died, somebody has to be rescued, somebody's getting threatened. This is not a happy ending book, I'm gonna let y'all know, but it's done so well. It is done so well, and the leading up to it, it is not a thick book, but the way the author write this book, you're gonna want to read it. This is a story about this man. He is a black man that went and become a doctor. He's now going back to his community, and he wants to, be a doctor there, do what he's supposed to do, of building your community. You're coming back with something valuable that your community may need. But the problem is, it's a community with racial issues. So the black people don't really trust you, and the white people don't want you to touch them. Or even be in their house. So he's going through all this. Then he's thinking he's helping his community because, he helps black folks. And he's only stirring the pot, not realizing the consequence of all of that happened. But when that ended this book and how the entire situation lead up to that moment in this book, I was like, no, the author didn't. No, the author didn't. But it's just so good. This is such a good classic, and I'm so like irritated that The Fire and the Flink is not one of those Harlem Renaissance that you hear a lot about. But it's so good. You want to read some Harlem Renaissance? Put this on your list. Put this on your list. And of course, the last book I think many of you guys will know, because my reaction when I was viewing this is still the same reaction I have right now, and that is Island of Forgetting. And this is Jasmine Seeley. Let me just give you a little bit of this. A young man witnessed the unaliving of his father by two family members, and he goes mental, walking around the street. People think he's just a crazy man, but prior to that, he had impregnated someone. So now you have generation of trauma. Each generation dealing with different trauma. Each generation not knowing the previous generation. And the things that's happening this, the way she packed the trauma in this, I was like, okay, lady, what are you going to do now? Because I'm tired of the trauma at this point. She was stressing me out, but it was just so well done that each generation, you want to know more. You want to know how they're going to get out the mess that they created, or mess that was handed to them. And then she got to the end, and there's a thing that she did that I was just like, oh, that's how you end a book. That's how you end a book. That's how you end a book. She got it right. She literally thought about this book, like writing. As somebody who, you know, aspired to be an author one day, is so much stuff that you can write and you can pack on it. Like, how do you end the story? And she did an ending that I wanted to clap. I wanted to scream, yes, you got it right. You got it right. And I love the story from beginning to the end. This is Barbados on the map. Yes, a Caribbean book that was so good. I told you the last time, I'm going to tell you again. It's going to frustrate you. It's going to make you wonder what the hell. It's going to give you all of that. But read it. And then come back to me and let me know how you like it. Get with this. Alright guys. This is all my top 10. And I had a really good year. It was... At first, when I was going through this, I was trying to figure out what was really happening to me, and I realized these weren't the typical books I go for. I literally more subdue kind of books, more heavy on the literary fictions per se, not so much on the mystery suspense. This was heavy on the mystery and suspense. I was doing a whole lot of ducking. Reading this book, wondering if somebody gonna survive at the end, because this is the kind of book it is. Who is somebody gonna survive? That's how a lot of these books were. And but it worked for me. It worked for me, and I look forward to reading some more next year. So you know, I gotta get that jar together. I don't have it on me right now. It's over there in the corner. So what was your favorite book this year? Get in the comment. I need to fill that jar up. I want to read what you loved and what you think I may love, and just add that in the bottom in the comment section. And I look forward to seeing what kind of books that you guys have me reading next year, because some of the books got on the list. So you guys know me or curious about what I would like, and you took a chance. And so far, majority of the books that you subscribed to me, you recommended, that was in the jar, loved. And there's more books that could have been switched out. It was hard, because there's some other books that almost made a 10, but I had to like narrow it down and say, you know what, let's go for the book that I still remember like I read it yesterday, that I still have feelings about, and these were the books. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and I wish you guys a happy new year, and thanks for riding with me, for supporting my channel, my small corner on YouTube, and watching my videos and comment and share and like. thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it, and I felt very loved this year, especially you guys making these comments and, you know, encouraging me to do things, and my friends outside of, you know, that do that. I had a year of love, and All About Love showed me things that I didn't see, but I had a really good year of love. I felt loved this year, and I appreciate it for getting me through a whole year of grief and you know, and self-reflection and self-love and self-care. Got me through it, and I really appreciate it, and from the bottom of my heart. And again, Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the next one. So we'll just have some bunch of short videos, and then we'll have the first vlog will be on the 11th, and then we will have some random Tuesday videos as well. So taking a few days off, but there'll be some shorts along the way. But yeah, I did it, guys. 31 video. All right, bye.